stomach being broke down over here, beautiful, takes an hour. What's going to happen when you drink the second beer in there? Then you're going to have over here, the beer going to come down. Remember, this works faster. The stomach works faster. So if your liver is over here working on that beer, the beer comes down here, okay, this brings down, cruises over here, gets full. So it's going to bypass. Boom, baby, you got 100% there. Isn't that simple? Now, one of the other myths too, by the way, the food. I don't know about y'all, I don't, okay? Don't ever discount the psychological response of any food altering chemicals. And I thought I could drink a ton more beer, by God, whenever I was had a full stomach, okay? Guys, settle down. The food in your stomach will absorb one beer, okay, or a shot of whiskey. Then the liver will take care of the other one. So technically, after a full stomach, after a meal, you'll be able to drink 2 beers in that hour and not be intoxicated, okay? I didn't share. I had a client, okay, true story. He heard this information in my outpatient group, and he went down to Peppercorns or whatever, and he ordered him a chicken fried steak meal. He ate it, ordered him 2 beers. Yeah, looked at his watch, took him an hour to drink the 2 beers, order another chicken fried steak meal. Yeah. Drank 2 more beers. Guys, he made it to 3 chicken fries before he was throwing up like you wouldn't believe. I mean, but that's commitment to your beer. That's my kind of thing. Okay? I tell you, that is awesome. He's clean and sober today, praise God. And he does not, he allows me to share his name, and I just tell him, no, I'm not going to. Okay. You share it if you want. No. But that's, again, that's a myth. Oh, I can drink a case when I'm on a full stomach. You know what? Mentally, psychologically, anyway, you might be able, you might think that way, and you might do more, okay? But physically, no, okay? Now, the other play in here. A lot of people, and guys, pay attention to this, okay? That's where we're losing a lot of people. A lot of people think that if you come in drunk, okay, if you got a buddy of yours that comes in drunk off their rear end, they're not used to drinking, they don't have a tolerance or anything, if they've got, all you got to do is put them to bed and everything's going to be perfect. Everything's going to be beautiful, okay? No. Guys, if this person has been drinking all night long, he's got his stomach full of alcohol. He's got his liver full of alcohol. He got a blood alcohol level of 0.25, let's say, okay? 0.25, once he goes to sleep, I know eventually your metabolism is going to slow down and all that stuff, but you think this process here is going to stop? No. This process is going to continue, and remember, the stomach will break it down quicker than the liver, okay? So you're in a position that your blood alcohol level continue to rise. And if you're a non-addict, you get to 0.40, you're dead. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay? This will continue to happen when you are sleeping. Okay? So, if you've got someone that comes in drunk off their rear end, you want to encourage them to throw up. Okay? You want some volcano action here, for God's sake. You want big chunks flying. You want this stuff out of the stomach, period, end. You want to get this stuff out of there, because in other words, this alcohol keeps getting to the brain. Remember this. When you put this part of the brain to sleep and the core starts going to sleep, that's where the respiratory depression is going to come in. When you're sleeping, this alcohol is still going to hit the brain, going to put your brain to sleep, and then that person will actually just go to sleep and not wake up. Okay? If we get someone wet in detox that comes in, if they're drunk when they come into detox, we're checking them every 5 or 10 minutes. Understand, it's somewhat of a slow process, okay? And you can tell someone that's going to go into have a difficulty with this when their core of the brain is put to sleep, when they're having a hard time breathing, they're laboring. You can tell. If they start having a hard time breathing and you know they've been drinking that night, you can get them to the hospital. And then at that point, by the way, the nurses are going to understand. The medical profession does not have a lot of patience for people under the influence, okay, over the years. Somebody that's drunk or high is pretty, God bless it, obnoxious. and very difficult to work with. But the other thing is these nurses are going to try to save your butt. They're going to take a little tube, okay, and it's going to stick it up your nose and don't really fit, okay? And they're probably going to jam it, okay? They're probably, you know, and that's going to go down here. And then you're going to get this charcoal substance that's going to go in your tummy. And remember, charcoal is very absorbent. It's going to stain your mouth and teeth for a couple hours or a couple days, depending, okay? And you're going to end up doing the same thing. Make sense? So if you got someone that's over there that's drank too much, be sure and make sure they throw up. And not just one time, 3 or 4 times. Only so much your body can get rid of. Cool? Now, do you understand where that myth comes from? Give a drunk cold shower or coffee. Okay? Bless you. The cold shower or the coffee is going to wake them up. It's going to keep them awake to where they're going to have an opportunity to throw chunks. Make sense? Any questions?
I have a question. When you have an empty stomach and when you drink, and then let's say you drink all night long, you haven't done anything all day, when you eat, does it take the buzz away or it doesn't?
No, but you still, remember, if your stomach has got alcohol in it, okay, and then you're eating, okay, then that food's going to absorb 1 beer, the equivalent of 1 beer. That's all. Okay? And that's a good thing, because then later, after you're done eating, you'll have something to throw up and get that initiated. See? Yeah. It was pretty cool.
So how many enzymes does women have in their liver? You said there's a couple in there, right? And men's?
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you got to look at is a healthy white male's getting rid of 95% of the first beer, okay? And a healthy female, they're getting rid of 60 to 70% of that first beer. That's
So
all.
I only got one enzyme that works more than me.
Okay, cool. Talk to your doctor on that.
Oh, yeah, I know, I already know it is.
Keep track of that.
It's an inherited disease, I got it, whatever it is.
Cool. Cool. Okay. Okay. Now, as we go through this stuff, understand, okay, there's a place where the myths come from. I understand all that, okay? But get your facts. Do your research, okay? The throwing up thing, man, it's important. This is where we're losing a lot of our young people. Right now, we've got more binge drinking on college campuses than any other time in our country's history. Within a half-mile radius of Penn State, there's 51 places to go get drunk. We go over to 100 when we expand it to a mile, okay? That's within a half a mile of Penn State campus. Yeah. No wonder their football team sucks this year. Bad, Jim. Okay. Now, look at the different thought process. Let's go back there for a second with the alcohol, but with any mood-altering chemicals, okay? You're going to hear a lot of control compared to loss of control. Very, very confusing. I'm going to try to explain more of this in the 3rd hour. Now, when you're looking at this loss of control thing, okay, if you set out to drink 2 beers, cool. You end up drinking 10, and you had no intention of doing that. What's got control? That's what you're looking at. If there's all the alcohol and drugs on the other side of that door that we can use for free, before we go in there, can you commit to just drinking a beer and then stopping, and then not be following through with it, okay? And if you can, awesome. And if you cannot, what's got control? You or the chemical. It's a real basic rule of thumb. Look at control, okay? As well as tolerance. Does everybody know tolerance? It takes more to get you messed up than it did before. What you're looking at, remember, your body is made to repair damage that we've done. It protects ourselves. If you get a cut on your arm, there's bleeding going on, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Blood going out of the wound, there's nothing going in to infect. And then look how it will work. The blood will coagulate or harden up, and then we scab up and it stops bleeding. Make sense? Our whole body will repair damage that we do. That's what our body will do. It works its tail end off. Okay? When you're looking at your brain cells, we'll get more into this in the 3rd hour, but you got these brain cells in here, and when your brain is able to recognize you're killing and toxicizing all these brain cells, it's going to try to protect it. So it's going to build a shield. And then it's going to take, later on, it's going to take you more alcohol or drugs to get through or around that shield in order to kill and toxicize brain cells. That's all tolerance is. Make sense? Just because you have tolerance doesn't necessarily mean you're an addict. It does, however, mean that you've been drinking too much, period. okay? But if you're looking at tolerance, if you're looking at loss of control, not all the time, just at times. Understand that at times it will increase, okay? Preoccupation doesn't mean obsession, means preoccupation. Using despite consequences, that's my favorite. I don't have a problem with alcohol or drugs at all. Are you on probation? Yes. How many hockey weighs? 27. You know what I mean? That's using despite consequences, okay? That's a significant symptom. When you're looking at the tolerance thing, you're going to drink more to get you messed up, okay? This is the way your body is protecting you from you. Any questions over the tolerance thing? Okay.
How long does it usually take to build up tolerance?
It depends on the person. There's so many variables, it's unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, that's very it. Just depends on the person. And by the way, guys, you'll have that tolerance forever. Okay? The shield doesn't disappear. If you talk to somebody in meetings and you talk to people that have been clean for a while, you're in a position to where they say, man, I was drinking a case when I stopped, but then when I started back up again, dang, I was drinking a case with 6-pack. Well, of course. The shield doesn't stop, and when you start drinking again, then that's going to build another layer on the shield, isn't it? Does that make sense? My tolerance was way high before, and it wouldn't take but a week or two before I was back to drinking my 2 cases and then some. Okay?
Is there a point where your tolerance goes down?
Down? Yes, thank you. We're getting there. But if you start to look at your tolerance coming down, aren't you going to have a little problem here with your liver? Okay? That's one of the signs. If your tolerance, if you know someone that was getting drunk on a case of beer and now they're getting drunk on a 12-pack, they need to go get their enzymes checked in their liver. Okay? Does that make sense? That's why we ask you on the KCBC, is your tolerance the same, increasing and decreasing? Because it'll start to decrease once you start to have some liver damage. And understand, the liver's awesome. Liver's an awesome organ. I don't quote me, I don't know, person maybe you might know, I don't know how much we need to live as far as the liver is concerned. A third, a fourth, it's not that much. But when you first start out with liver problems, what you'll find here is little dots. And these little dots are going to be fatty tissue, okay? And then eventually these things are going to connect. And the second stage, this what this is, and that's the fibrous. And then you move into dead tissue here with cirrhosis. Make sense? Now, if you stop before you hit cirrhosis, the liver will repair itself, okay? And again, you don't need a whole lot for it to live. A friend of mine, we always gave him all sorts of crap because he had a big old belly. Well, he didn't eat that much. His liver was swollen. I think it was like 3 or 4 times the normal size. He's in bed, he's hanging in there, but he's in the hospital right now in Salina, and they're just waiting for him to die of this liver problem here, this cirrhosis. He never did stay sober. Okay?
Did a liver weigh on with 4 pounds of the regular liver?
I have no clue. I don't know.
It goes up to 12 pounds and you got cirrhosis.
Cool. Awesome. 4 pounds and 12 times. Awesome. Beautiful. I don't know. Now, when you're looking at tolerance, okay. Guys, I even had a client one time have a blood alcohol level of 248, 0.248. And he said, you know, I only had 2 beers. I just love it. Or he has no liver, okay? I mean, one way or another. I told him, I was ready to call the doctor right there. I had the phone there. We got to call the doctor and get you a liver, you know. And once we started to explain some of that, I said, well, maybe I had a few more than just 2, okay? Okay? Now, look at the difference between loss of control and control. I'm going to share about my 2 younger brothers. I got my youngest brother is a non-addict. My middle brother, okay, he's an addict. We're still waiting on him to get in recovery, okay? Now, my youngest brother, a couple summers ago, got married. And come to find out, he wanted to get drunk the night before he got married. Well, I found out about 6 months ago, actually, that my brother, the addict, is the one that manipulated this whole thing. He's the one that told Shane, Jimmy wants to get you drunk. And then he comes to tell me, Shane wants to get drunk. How about you, Father? But in any case, I went out there with my sister and my mother, both in recovery, my sponsor, and 2 other friends of mine in recovery. We had a great time. And we're over there to watch Brett and Shane, my 2 younger brothers, get drunk. I asked Shane, the non-addict, how many shots was he going to take? Because, see, we were going to buy. He says, I was at 10 one time when I was in college, so I know it's not going to be more than 10, period, okay? I don't know if I'm going to make it to that, but I know I'm not going over 10. Cool. Now, I asked my brother Brett, the addict, how many is it going to take for you? What was his answer? Exactly. He had no answer. He said, you know what, Jimmy, I'm going to tell you when I'm hurt, okay? And he had no clue when he was going to stop. Now, we started over there getting shots and stuff. Finally, I ended up getting him a bottle or a shot of Jack Daniels, and he put his finger in. Oh, dang, Jimmy, that hurts me. Ooh, that's Jack Daniels. I said, Brett, I can take it back. I mean, the bartender, no big deal, you know. It was no, I'll take it. It's good. He ended up having, you know, 3, 4, 5, I don't know. Shane did make it to 10. Okay, and Brett was just slamming them. Which one was I concerned about throwing up? Shane, the non-addict. His body was not used to having that stuff in the system. Remember, guys, our body's going to adjust, adapt, overcome, protect ourselves. It's going to be in a position, if we drink or drug enough, it's going to be more normal for us to have alcohol or drugs in our system than not. If I've got a pilot that's been drinking a 5th of whiskey every day for 4 years, and all of a sudden he's got 3 days sobriety, what am I going to do? Well, I'm getting off the plane, okay? Or, I know this sounds weird, lesser of 2 evils, I'm going to give him a 5th of whiskey. Does that make sense? He's going to, it's, again, a lesser of 2 evils, but it's going to be more normal for him to be flying the plane on the whiskey than without, okay? If you ever take someone to detox, a lot of times you'll see people that are going through seizures and so forth. You got to be cool with that. A beautiful friend of mine, Opal, runs a halfway house in Salina, for God's sakes. We were taking the guy to detox, and I opened the trunk to put his bag in there. I saw a bottle of whiskey, a bottle of vodka, a bottle of tequila. And I'm like, Opal, you're saying you got 20 years clean? What's up with this? Well, I found out later. Okay, on the way to this guy, taking this guy to detox, we ended up giving him some drinks of that so he wouldn't have a seizure in our back seat. Does that make sense? I know that sounds weird, but you know what? Again, we're looking at the lesser of 2 evils. He's going to a safe place anyway. I know that can be controversial. But he's going to a safe place, in my thought, anyway, and he's going to hurt himself more if he's seasoned without any medical training. I didn't have no medical training. You know, I don't have no medications for him. Let's get him to detox, and then they can take care of him at that point, okay? That's that tolerance thing. With Shane, I wanted to make sure he was throwing up because he's not used to drinking. He drinks once or twice a year, okay? Brett, I wasn't too concerned, okay? And Shane goes in the bathroom, you should have seen him, he comes out, he's a big old boy. He comes out just white as a sheet looking like Dracula. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And he's walking around and I said, Shane, did you throw up? Hell no!